How did European classical music influence New Orleans jazz? Imagine a city where the sounds of marching bands, African rhythms, and European melodies all come together. That city is New Orleans, and its jazz style is a colorful mix of many musical traditions. But how did European classical music shape this vibrant genre? Let's find out. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, New Orleans was a melting pot of cultures. African-American musical traditions like work songs and spirituals blended with European classical music, creating something new. Early jazz bands often used instruments like the cornet, clarinet, trombone, tuba, and piano. These instruments were common in European orchestras, and jazz musicians learned to play them with formal training. They adapted their classical skills to the improvisational style of jazz, which made their performances more sophisticated. European classical music also influenced jazz through harmony and structure. Many jazz musicians could read music and understood complex chord progressions, scales, and formal forms from classical training. This knowledge helped them craft more intricate harmonies and arrangements. For example, jazz pieces from the early days often followed forms like the 12-bar blues or the 32-bar song form, both of which have roots in European classical music. Another key influence came from the Creole community in New Orleans. Many Creole musicians had received formal classical music education from France, Spain, or other European countries. They learned techniques like counterpoint, polyphony, and notation. When these musicians joined jazz bands, they brought their classical skills with them, making the music more refined and complex. European classical music also emphasized ensemble playing, where musicians listen to each other and respond. This skill translated well into jazz, especially in the collective improvisation that is a hallmark of New Orleans jazz. Musicians learned to stay in sync while improvising, creating a cohesive sound that still allowed for individual expression. Finally, the blending of European and African American musical elements created a new language of music. Jazz took the discipline and structure from classical music and combined it with the emotional, rhythmic vitality of African American traditions. This fusion gave jazz its unique character, rich, lively, and deeply rooted in history. You can hear these influences in the arrangements, harmonies, and use of classical instruments in early jazz recordings. The legacy of European classical music helped shape the sophistication and complexity that make New Orleans jazz so special. It's a perfect example of how different musical worlds can come together to create something truly unforgettable.